Hi everyone, I'm Carol Keller from Antioch, Illinois in the US, and I'm excited to present a project to you today as part of our SU Global Share Fair. We've had a lot of fun doing these, and I am using some products today from the Hand Pen Suite, which I've been playing with a lot this week and having a lot of fun with. So I'm really happy to be sharing that one project with you today. And I think I'm going to turn my camera around right away so that we can get started. So let me show you the card first. This is the card that I made for today, and it's a fun fold. I think it's called a gatefold, I'm not sure, but it opens like that. And I got the idea, I cased it from one of my downlines, Suzanne DeCourcy, because she gave me a card like this with this fold for my birthday, and I thought it was so beautiful. So I put it aside. My birthday was at the beginning of the year and I've been wanting to do it, and today is the day. So this is what we're going to make. I'm going to put it aside. The first thing you're going to do is grab an 8.5 by 11 piece of thick white cardstock. I thought that would work better for this, just to make it super strong. And I'm going to show you how I score it and then cut it, because then you can get two cards done at once. So on the long side, you are going to score, so I'm going to move my cutting blade out of the way, at 2 3/4 inches. And if you're working on an A4 card, you score at 7.4 centimeters at each end, and also 2 3/4 inches at each end. But for the A4 card, you must first cut off 0.2 centimeters off the long end so that your folds then are even. All right, and then we're going to turn it the other way, and we're going to cut at 4 1/4 inches, or if you're working in centimeters, 10.5 for an A4 card. And now we have our two card bases, and I'm going to put one to the side. Okay, so we're just going to fold in, and you see they meet in the middle, so that's what I was talking about with the centimeters. And we'll give it a little burnish to make it lie flat. And I've loved these Hand Pen Designer Series papers. All of them are gorgeous. Definitely, I tend to be a brights girl, and these are subtles, but I love them. I love the color palette. So I'm using this one today, and I already pre-cut those to make it quicker. And this is 4 1/4 by 2 3/4, both of them. And so again, if you're using centimeters, it would be 10.5 by 7.4. All right, and I am going to use my multi-purpose liquid glue, because we want to make sure that these edges meet up exactly on our card, so that way I can make sure I have good placement. And I don't think this one's really dimensional, and yet I see this one going up, or I mean directional. Not dimensional, but that one flower stem looks like it's going up, so we'll do it that way. And then grab the other one. Yeah, for the most part, I think it's not. I don't think it matters which way you do it. And you can line the two up. I think I did that with my first card. Made them, yeah, I did line them up. So, but you don't have to. And we'll get this one on. And then we're going to get to some stamping. And actually, before we stamp, we're going to do some die cutting. So I am using the Stitched So Sweetly dies. I believe that the stitch rectangle dies work better, and I think that's what Suzanne actually used on my card, but I don't have them. So I decided to use the Stitched So Sweetly dies, and they work, and I think they're really pretty because of the scallop, but that does make it a little bit fussier to open and close. So if you have the Stitched Rectangles dies, I probably would recommend those first, but either one works. So I've got a scrap of Blushing Bride, and I'm just going to show you how to line up your dies before you put them in your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So all you're going to do is put one down and then center the other one inside it. So as long as it's centered, you're good to go. And then I put some washi tape, a couple of pieces down to hold it in place, run it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And then you end up with this. So we're going to take this out and use it, and this you can use on another project. And then I cut a second of the smaller one in basic white, because again, it fits right in there, and that's what we're going to use to stamp on. So now we're going to do some stamping. I'm going to bring this one back in, and I'm going to bring in an envelope. We're going to stamp on that as well. And I'm starting with Smoky Slate. You could use Memento Black, because the outline is actually Memento Black, but I like the softness of the Smoky Slate with the subtles. I think it works nicely. So I've got my big, whoops, a couple of stamps together, my big bouquet of flowers that we're using for the front. And I think I'm going to do it this way since it's big. And then that's going to go here. And you can stamp first and then cut. And I do that often, but I feel like this one works better. I'm just standing up so I can make sure it's all on here. It works better because you can see that it's going to go right to the edges and not over. It's easier to do it this way than to try to position the dies over it because you cover the edges. So I think it makes sense to cut first and then stamp. And then we could use our blends to color in, but we're going to make it quick today. We are going to use the stamps in the set to do our fill-in and also to decorate the inside. So I'm starting with the largest flower that's in the set, and I'm going to bring in my Blushing Bride, and I'm also going to bring in a scrap. And we're going to do a lot of stamping off or second generation stamping. So I'm going to ink up my flower, but I'm going to stamp it on the paper first and then stamp the center because I want a lighter color because that's matches more with the color palette. And I'm going to do it again for the envelope. And once again for the inside, because you know, card is not complete until you have stamping on the inside and the envelope, right? And that is our Blushing Bride. And next, bring in Daffodil Delight. And this is actually a bright, but we're going to soften it up a little bit. And we're going to bring this back in. We're going to do the two next largest flowers, again, stamping off. And I love it. It's an easy way, using the stamps, it's an easy way to fill in the color. It's quick. It doesn't have to be exact. I think I'm going to put a little more on there. And it definitely works. There's our Daffodil Delight. And next I'm going to bring in Pool Party. We're going to do the leaves. So again, we're going to stamp off. And for the leaves, it was really light, so I actually did each one twice. And when I stamped off, I'm kind of going really lightly to leave a little more ink, or to try to, on there. But it's so pretty. And for these, I actually didn't. I used them full strength, but then I decided I liked the light one better. So you can let me know what you think. Actually, I'm going to bring in the smaller stamp. There are two sizes of leaves. Yes, but now we've got the leaves done. And I'm going to add a leaf to the envelope. And one to the inside. Turn that around. Whoops, I'll do it here so you can see it. Do that again. Got it a little crooked. All right, now we're done with the Pool Party, and then those last flowers we're actually going to do in Misty Moonlight. So I'm going to start with the inside of the card. And then we're going to do this on the inside. So the inside is complete. And this way on the envelope. Let's see, like this, I think. And the envelope's almost complete. We have one more thing to do with that. I'll put it here. And then the flowers on the front. So again, oops, not even. I love the photopolymer. I can see just how much ink is on there and if it's good or not. if it's even or uneven. And again, the flowers on the stamp, there's a larger one and a smaller one, and they line up nicely with the ones on the bigger stamp. Oh, and we're going to leave that out because we're going to do a sentiment. For this one, I did Feel Better Friend, but for this one, I'm going to do Congratulations. And I was thinking, we're going to stamp off again. I was thinking that one might go better here. Oh yeah, I like that. So that is all of our stamping. So I can take this out. And so we are going to now just put the card together. And the easiest way I found to do this is kind of, you're going to center it here, and you want just the right side of this die cut to have adhesive on it. So I'm going to use my multi-purpose liquid glue because it's nice and strong, and center it. That looks pretty good. And I'm going to bring in my silicone craft sheet to put ink on here because I'm not a fan of mess. And for this one, we're going to have the adhesive on the left side. So I'm just going to put some dots because I know it's nice and strong and it's holding well on my sample card. And then move this out of the way. And the way I did this was to lay it starting on the side without the adhesive, and then just pressing it in line like that. So it lines up perfectly with the die cut, the white die cut. And then we'll just burnish it. And there it is. And oops, not dry yet. Okay, so we don't want to do that yet. It does take a minute to catch, so I'm going to leave that actually because, you know, a card is not complete without bling. So we'll put the bling on and then we'll open it up. So for the bling, I'm using the Genial Gems. And I have my Take Your Pick tool. And I'm going to put a large gem in the center of the Blushing Bride flower, and then a couple small ones in the centers of the Daffodil Delight flowers. Just to finish it, because, you know, gotta have the bling. And our card is complete, and I should be able to open it, yes. So like I said, it's a little bit fussy with the Stitch So Sweetly dies because of those scallops, but I do think it looks pretty. And if you don't want to worry about that, if you want it to slide a little more smoothly, I recommend the Stitched Rectangles dies. Oh, that's right, and we have one last thing on the envelope besides the stamping on the front. We're going to put a piece of Designer Series paper on the back. So for this, I'm going to put the glue on the envelope around the edges. And we'll lay it down. And again, it takes a second to adhere, but I was able to cut right away, so I'm going to try that again. So I think we should be fine. You just cut around the edge with my wonderful paper snips. And it's very quick and easy. And I think it adds so much. Isn't that pretty? Adds so much. So there it is. There is the card and the matching envelope. I hope you like them. Here is where you will find the hand pen suite in the catalog on pages 104 and 105. And the suite consists of 4 different items. The first is the Hand Penned Petals photopolymer stamp set, which means it is clear, so it makes it easy to get good placement. And the Companion Penned Flowers dies, which together constitute a bundle, so you can purchase them at a 10% discount. Here is what the dies look like once they've been cut out. 3 of them, cut out 3 of the images in the stamp set, and the rest are companions to that. Next, we have our gorgeous hand-penned designer series papers. Beautiful florals. I love the color palette. And as always, there are coordinating colors and patterns on the backside that are more neutral. And last but not least, we have our Genial Gems, which come in 2 sizes and 2 colors, Mint Macaron and Pale Papaya. And they have some beautiful flecks of gold throughout both of them, so they add a lot of sparkle to your project. And those are the components of our suite. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.